Hi, folks. This is Mountain Man coming to you from parts unknown. I've had to go into my panic room in my secret underground bunker because of the infiltration, possibility of infiltration. You can't be too careful nowadays. We're in tumultuous times. So, how is everyone doing tonight? And I hope you can hear me good because I have a different sound situation. You guys let me know if my sound is better than normal or the same or uh, whatever. I guess 5x5 will see that it's just the same, or give me a 6x6 if it sounds better. I mean, this stuff doesn't come easy, you know. Ha ha. Hi, Diane. Hi, Kicking Bird. How's everybody doing? Bubba. I believe this with this fake indictment with Mr. T, they want to try to get the Trump supporters right. That's exactly right. Don't fall for it. They're mad because they couldn't get us for that letter and that number. So, hi, Alicia. Hi, Am. How are you? So let's see. I'll go down. Last time I sound like I do usually normally sound. Well, hi, Tyne. Is that right, Tyne? Or welcome aboard. Hi, Georgia. How are you? We get remember the quiet, angry people. Oh, I sound great. Thank you, honey. That's good. 6x6 Quilt says I sound better. Ha ha. Linda, that's good. Hi, Donna. About the atom. Oh, as in shifty shift. Sounds clear, Linda says. Good. Well, I'm going to do a review here in a little bit as soon as we get people in the chats of one of the most famous drops, one of the most famous information drops. I got a thumbs up from Tyne. How you doing, Jason? Ken, how are you? Good evening. So let me see what number that is, and if y'all want to try to take a look at it yourself while we got people coming in before I talk about it, I noticed a little something something, and I have talked about this post before. It is number 37, and then the other letter is 17. Okay, so it's four numbers all together, 37, and the other one is 17. So if anybody wants to take a look at it and do a preview of their cogitating before I talk about it, just a little point I want to make about it. Now, I got this cat wanting to get my lap, and I'm just not going to have that this evening. Oh, gosh, get down. Hi, Gary, how are you doing? Well, I guess she is going to sit in my lap. Anyway, I should have brought her a toy or something back here, but anyway, she's never been in the panic room before. And if you don't know what a panic room is, that's where you isolate yourself and block everything off, increase your safety. So you're not going to see, how you doing, David? You're not going to see Mr. T going in any panic room. He's going to come right at him. He's going to come right at him with his fist balled up. I was going to put in the title, 3 strikes, you're out, because this is the third strike. Conservative Patriot, how are you? The third strike, impeachment 1, impeachment 2, and now they got this sideways stumble bum indictment. And the more you listen to legal experts, everybody seems to calm down, I would hope, because as we know, there hasn't been a call to action from Mr. T, so he's our leader, right? He's our leader, and that's who we follow. So let me see. Kim's in, and I know the first instinct is to blow a cork, but hey, that's what they do, right? Did everybody see what they were doing in Tennessee? You didn't see anybody getting put in the joint for that. That's right, Georgia. They walked right into a trap. I'll put that on the screen. I'm trying to poke at the phone, and I got this gray fuzzball sitting in my lap and pushing her. Stop it, you. So I'm going to have to exclude her from the panic room. You're going to be on your own when the crazy liberals show up here at the house. Miss Mendersu, how are you? Good evening. So anyway, I'll tell you what I have not posted. I have not posted any of the AI drawings or pictures, photographs, anything like that are showing Mr. T in distress, showing Mr. T being drug away, or a fake mug shot. I'm not doing that. And it's doing its own damage. It's waking people up. And that's got something to do with the post that I am bringing up. First indictment unsealed. That came to me that they weren't talking about our Durham's indictments. They weren't talking about the white hat indictments. I think they were talking about the black hat indictments. She'd be in a cuter. I just ran her off my lap and she didn't like it. No, my goodness. I ought to take a picture of you and show it to the world how you act. Anyway, I won't do that. They walked right into the quicksand and now they're going to be sick. That's exactly right, Diane. Give them enough rope. Jason, you are so right. We do not own cats. They own us. It's her world. I live in it. Let's see. So we'll go over that in a minute. So if you all could take a look at it, that's one thing I'm going to go over about it, is that everybody's assumption was that the first indictment that we open will be a mass awakening. But if you remember that quote has always been the first arrest will shock the world. And in my past broadcasts, and for the people that's new and joined us, I have said that was never in the official post, that somebody snuck that in, trying to make us look like we don't know what we're talking about. It says something other than that. So we'll go over it here in a little bit. He's got 34 charges, Bubba, not indictments, one indictment with 34 charges. And they say one of them is a felony. And the other thing that they're saying is a question we had last night was, would it be televised? Now, state charges, they can televise, but not federal. And I have heard from different posts and people a little more versed in the law than myself that this is state charges, a state felony. So that would open it up for the cameras to roll in. So now I'm just checking through the chats because, as you know, and when it's all cross our fingers for Nikki, she's going to Florida and she's either en route or hopefully staying somewhere nice and having a wonderful time. I told her, don't you worry about nothing. You just enjoy yourself. Enjoy your precious time. And hopefully let's all keep our fingers crossed that that's the case. And for all our friends that we've been thinking about that have been coming in the chats and that aren't with us, let's all keep our fingers crossed, actually, for all of our Americans of goodwill. And a Google account says a judge will probably have to throw out because too long ago. There are so many holes in it. It's got more holes in it than a sieve. More holes in a sieve. They just want the optics of them. Let me quote Turkey President Erdogan just before they suffered that terrible earthquake. He told the Western powers, keep your filthy hands off of us. So that's what I feel like saying. That's what I almost put in my title. keep your filthy hands off. Because that's what they want to do. They want to put their filthy hands on him. If you will remember, after the first indictment, the first impeachment, and it failed, Nancy was giving an interview. And the reporter said, well, he didn't really get impeached because the Senate didn't convict him. She said, and she took her claw and ran it across her own arm. If you all remember that, she said, we still scarred him. We still scarred him. And she ran her fingers across her arm each time she said the word scar. So that's what they want to do. And of course, it blew up in their faces. And I'm watching with interest my friends that are flying around in the atmosphere of life, not paying attention to the big picture, and buying the song and dance from the establishment media. Okay, I'm just watching them. And if they want to ask me a question, I'll answer it. But I lost some subscribers because I told people to stay away when you talk to newbies, to stay away from rabbit holes. We want whatever picture the white hats are trying to paint, and our president is trying to show the world. That's what we got to get them to see, the wide battlefield. Don't drag them down a rabbit hole. Oh, well, that made some people angry because they want to talk about lizard people. They want to talk about this and that, and they go on. So, okay, goodbye. Go play around your rabbit hole. But I can tell you what, if you got the true armor of God on, you won't fit down that rabbit hole. You got to take it off to go down that rabbit hole. So when the day comes and you're asked, where was your true armor of God? Why didn't you have that on? Well, I hid it in the bushes so nobody would get it while I went on a secret mission down this rabbit hole, God. That's what I did. I was going to get it and put it on when I came back out. Well, by the time you got out of that rabbit hole, the battle was over. So I don't know you. Goodbye. So anyway, that's just me again getting on the old soapbox. They said Mr. T indictment was under seal. That's right, Diane. And there's also talk that the person that leaked that was, according to, quote, experts, they were either working in Bragg's office or they were a member of the jury, which whoever did it committed a felony when they let the word out about that. Yeah, Barr said it's a nothing burger. Now you take a look at that. Him and Donald Trump, as far as the public has been concerned, have been on the outs. All right, so we're seeing a lot of people coalesce, like Ron DeSantis. He came around. That is, I've said it before. Bill Barr, Jeff Sessions, Ron DeSantis. Hey. Good actors make a good movie, okay? Okay, so Ron DeSantis is on a mission. I'll get into that if I got time this evening. But so has people taken a look at that post that I was just talking about? Something very interesting, because words have meaning. And you notice I put Trump indicated in my title, indicated. Because that's the way Mr. Trump spelled it today, okay? A lot of people say you put a V in front of that, it spells vindicated. Could mean he was indicated to start another phase of this operation. Excuse me while I have a sip of my coffee. Boy, that's good. I think I'm going to go decaf after about dinner time. But anyway, I'll just enjoy what I got. Let's see. So we got a good number of people in. And Trump did say indicated. But what people are seeing from all different aspects, all different facets the American people are multifaceted. They have a lot of different interests. They have a lot of different backgrounds. We are the true melting pot. What we all share is the American spirit, right? But we all come from different angles, different perspectives. So people are going to be a little more interested in different things. For the techie crowd and the people that don't like Trump, or, you know, on the surface don't like him and they're finding out things. This business about Matt Taibbi, who is very well known and did not like Trump himself and didn't believe in a DS, right? A deep and end state, right? Now that he was put in charge of the Twitter drops, he's testifying in front of the Senate. I mean, probably one of the biggest moments of his professional life. And here he is playing this role in history as honestly as he can, having respect for the Senate, having respect for the process, being a good reporter. And while he's doing that, the IRS raids his home. So all these people who are like-minded, like Matt Taibbi, with the same background as Matt Taibbi, who are fans of him, know this. So they had Janet Yellen up, and she was asked point blank, again, televised in front of everybody, about IRS agents, quote, visiting Matt Taibbi's home during his testimony. And of course, she bibbled, babbled, yabbled, and everything else, but we're showing them for what they are. And it is affecting these different groups of people and showing them, look, this can affect us all. They can get you all. They want to get you all. Just because you're saying you don't like Trump will not protect you once they get power. Debbie says timing is everything. Think about it. That's exactly right. That's right, Kim. Look up to the light. It's dark down rabbit holes. So I'm just going through the chats. Like I said, because I don't have Nikki, and I just want to check now. I want to see if somebody says, oh, Trump's no good or Trump's a traitor or whatever. Hey, I'll talk with you. I'll talk with you. Don't get feel like I'm going to be mean or insulting to you, and I don't expect that to be the case when anyone talks to me. So I'm just making sure I'm not missing anybody. If somebody comes to chat with a different angle of view, the way Mr. Taibbi used to think, let him say stuff, and I might get in a little back and forth with him. Some of you have been with me for a while, know that I've done that in the past, and it's been kind of fun. Now, I tell you, somebody else has come up with a good strategy. Was about these trials that Durham did. One was in the Magic Kingdom, okay? One was in Virginia. And the two trials that Durham did, the first time ever he lost a case in 30-some years as prosecutor. So he's bringing up more indictments. Everybody knows it. Everybody's sweating. When's he going to do it? Citizen Free Press came out and said Virginia Attorney General Jason Miyares needs to think about what charges he could bring against prominent Democrats. Many of them live in the Commonwealth, so there is a good chance their crimes have been committed there. He needs to think outside the box and be creative. Well, that's exactly right. If you've got somebody sitting at their home computer assisting the Manhattan DA or Hillary's law firm or going back and forth with a liberal journalist who's trying to twist a story a certain way. That's interference of a word I got to be careful about saying. It's the same as selection without the S. Vindicated without the V is indicated. So anyway, yeah, so that would be not thinking out of the box. That would be good detective work, because I put on my post on Truth and the Other Word is Social that selections are considered matters of national security. That brings in no such agency, okay? The NSA, which I'm sure has very, very close ties to our favorite letter. So this is a tremendous time that we're living in right now. This is a big, big moment. We knew it was coming. Almost like Mr. T said, I knew this day would come, and it was only a matter of when. But we knew something was up. When Mr. T repeated 2 times at 2 different rallies, this is the final battle. They know it. I know it. Everybody knows it. So, and he started using the term DS, deep, and the other word is state. So, first times he ever started using those was walking up to this. Okay, let me see what Tennessee's saying. I'll take a chat break here. Let me go through the chats. I'll see what Tennessee's numbers got going on. We got anybody wants to, got any questions that might be on the other side, maybe? Yes, Pappy Two Bears said they are, and I thank you. Gary and Pappy are both right together for helping me out with them. Buy me a coffee. I want to be polite and thank y'all. These are the times of Haman. They will swing on their own gallows. That's right. And Andrew Jackson, he was the favorite president so far of DJT. He said he wished he would have hanged John C. Calhoun higher than Haman, who was a big proponent of secession. Okay, let's see. Tennessee said, I heard today. See if it makes sense. T was 45. 4 plus 5 is 9. When Mr. T gets in 24, he'll be 47. 4 plus 7 is 11. Oh, well, I don't know. That's a lot of jumping jacks for me, Tennessee. That's a lot. It might be, but that might be the story, that disclosure about what actually happened, because that is so recent in our collective memory. The JFK situation, very few people, especially with the education system of the last 20 years, realize what a horror that was, what a terrible criminal act that was. But now 9/11, now that is something that is close enough to everybody's collective imagination that when the truths come out about that, that might be the slap upside the head. That's right, South Carolina senator. A lot of people in South Carolina still like George C. Calhoun. They got statues up to him and everything. But I'll tell you what, John C. Calhoun, that's right. They got statues up to him. But I tell you what, Andrew Jackson didn't care for him. And turned out he had good reason. That's right, Tennessee is getting rocked. But yeah, keep safe. Well, hey, we're smart enough to keep away. We're smart enough to keep away and let them look like fools and dress up if they want to like Trump supporters. But there's nobody there for them to stir up trouble with. That's right, Kate, the truth about Waco. That was another. He sent us so many signals where we can just step right over rabbit holes. We're charging across the battlefield right now. Just don't step in a rabbit hole. Just keep going the way Mr. T is showing us, and the people that he relies on, like Dan Scavino, Cash Patel. Cash Patel was saying the way he was talking, that there was going to be a trial and that it was going to be televised. Now, I tell you, Jack Posobiec, who had dinner with Mr. T about 3 nights ago, and then right after he had dinner with Mr. T, maybe 4 nights ago, he came out and said, after his hours-long dinner with Mr. T, he came out and said that the 17th letter was, some kind of psyop started by some guy, Anyway, Posobiec said liberalism is a carefully constructed semi-reality denying beliefs held at the same time, even when they are in dispute. Okay, that's a nice way to say they're nuts. But then again, he said, imagine the man who walked into North Korea. Imagine thinking the man who walked into North Korea isn't going to walk into a New York courtroom and face them down eye to eye. That's exactly right. Trump is not your average bear. He's not afraid of them. And when the saying has been way since before the 2016 election, when he was knocking 16 Republicans flatter than a board, people started saying, if you hit Trump once, when he comes back, he hits you 5 times as hard. So they got to all keep that in mind. And they all know that. That's why they're desperate to stop him. And the next thing he said, Trump's mugshot will be the most viewed photo in American history. So now you all heard that this person, that his name was Douglas Mackey. Very little known story. This person was charged criminally for posting memes about Hillary supporters that made Hillary supporters look bad. He's been charged and he went to trial, and the jury was reporting for days straight that they were a hung jury. Well, it just came out he's been convicted and he's facing 10 years in jail. Breaking, Douglas Mackey to appeal verdict to U.S. Court of Appeals for the Second Circuit. A New York City court found him guilty of making memes disparaging Hillary's supporters. The Biden administration wants to jail him for up to 10 years. And then he has a legal fund, if anybody wants to check it out, called memedefensefund.com. So all the things they put out about Mr. T that turned out to be false, nobody's going to pay a price for that. But if a guy puts out memes making fun of Hillary supporters, he can go to jail for 10 years. How does that hat fit? How's that work out? So let me see what else he's got on that story. I mean, it pretty much speaks for itself. Sharing memes is election interference, but arresting the opposition's lead candidate is not. Oh, okay. They will lock you up for posting memes and ban you for speaking the truth. Yes, that's true. And Trump's trial isn't federal. That means it will be televised. Okay, so a lot of people got a lot of splaining to do. A lot of splaining about how they doctored that, edited that interview with Trump, that press conference, and they went on for years claiming that he praised supremacists, okay, who white, in the other words, supremacists, okay. All the other lies, those weren't memes. Those were real attacks. Those were altered videos. They gave credibility to every finger pointer. Everybody accused him, just like they're doing right now. with Michael Cohen and Horseface. And Kate says 7 years of lies. That's right. Ridiculous and blatant. Maybe the dopes will wake up. That's exactly right. Fake T-sports will battle the T-haters. Yeah. Don't interfere with the enemy when they're fighting themselves. Just enjoy the show. That's right. That's right. That's why I meant by putting that community post where John Daly's smoking a cigarette with these colorful pants on. I mean, it kind of like, I don't know what. He's got a big white Santa Claus beard and a white hair, and you have to look at it on my community page. It's funny. It's just like, hey, we got a quiet anger, okay? We got a quiet anger. And I was told a long time ago, you get somebody that's quiet and mad at you, you better watch out. If somebody's mad at you and blowing a cork, hey, they're letting off steam. Somebody's really mad and really quiet, watch out. Yeah, she's the other end, Tennessee. Yeah, they stormed capitals and nothing's being done to them. And that is being shown to the middle of the roaders. I'll call them middle of the roaders now, like Matt Taibbi. And then you've got all these young people. And I want you all to put on your radar screen a young man, and I mentioned it before. He's called Fat and Opinionated. Fat and Opinionated. He did excellent coverage of the incident at the church. And I hope he doesn't get taken down. But he's been doing YouTube videos for years. And the reason I'm pointing him out is that this shows a younger generation that is realizing the danger and the folly of promoting the stuff that's going on. So give that guy a chance. He's very polite. He is fat and he is opinionated, but he doesn't go with a curse word every here and there, and hardly ever says anything out of line. But he really, you could tell he gives serious thought to the things he discusses. So I think you will find that an enjoyable watch. Fat and Opinionated. But then again, you also have the other side mentioned, like Tim Pool and 6X and Hammer, NPC Show. Those are all people of a generation, that I'm past, and many of us are more, I say, mature. And it gives us hope. It gives us hope because they've been through that school system I've discussed. Now, here's a guy called Ben Collins, put out a tweet. Now, this is how they're hanging on. They're trying to hang on to some kind of rationality for what to rationalize this ridiculous move by this Pillsbury doughboy, Bragg. Ben Collins said Donald Trump Jr. and Ron DeSantis have all claimed Alvin Bragg is, quote, Soros-backed, unquote, or aligned since the news of the indictment dropped. In reality, SOROS has, quote, never met or spoken to Alvin Bragg, according to a CNBC story from last week. So he thinks that makes it all right, makes him not connected to SOROS, right? I don't care if he never spoke to him. I don't care if he never met. I care about the money, okay? I care about the money. I care about any threatening phone calls. I care about any promises. I care about any bribes. I care about any extortions. That's what I care about. And if he's behind any of that and tangled up with Bragg, I don't care that they never spoke or met. So that's the kind of thing that's got to be put out there for this lily-livered person called Ben Collins. Are you stupid? Like I used to say about my friend 20 years ago. He'd be dealing with somebody in a conversation, and it was like, at some point, he just look at him and say, "Are you stupid?" And that cracked me up because I saw Chris Rock. He was doing a show, and he was talking about indicting Trump before this. And that's the first. He stopped for a second. He looked in the camera and he said, "Are you stupid?" That needs to be. Hey, they had a bumper sticker for Clinton. It's the economy, stupid. It's the economy, stupid. Let's just do a bumper sticker that said, "Are you stupid?" Yeah, that's something we can. I'm gonna start doing. I'm make a Mountain Man T-shirt. Are you stupid? And wear it across the back. So you don't got to look at them when you're standing in the grocery line. They're standing, and there's a question. They can read it and ask themselves, "Are you stupid?" Because it's getting to that point. Now, here we got a post from Mr. T, and I said weeks ago, a month ago, that we're at the phase of the operation where we're cleaning out, making a list, checking it twice. Okay, we're rooting out and exposing the level of judges and prosecutors. And a lot of you will remember I said that. Ian. That's a good way to spell it, Ian. That's right, Pillsbury Doughboy. I was going to call him Michelin Man. Remember that? Or what was the one in Ghostbusters? Gary was Ghostbusters, Stay Puft Marshmallow Man. So Pillsbury Doughboy, yeah. Pillsbury Doughboy. Pillsbury Doughboy would laugh when you poked him in the belly and all this kind of stuff. But this Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, he was real mad going through the city in the movie Ghostbusters while they were throwing their flames at him and everything. So anyway, let me look at the chat, see if we got anybody wants to step in the water with me and talk a little bit. I mean, let's play. I mean, if somebody thinks differently, it'd be very interesting. And I say, don't bark at them. I just say, come here, come on. Let me pat you on the head. And if you hate Trump, I want to sit there and talk to you. No, I don't see anybody. It looks like they're staying away from me tonight. I don't know. I don't see anybody in there. Okay, I'm going way up through the chats. Yep, that's right. There will be tribunals. I don't know if that's a keyword or not. I know I get away with a little bit of stuff sometimes. So anyway, I'll just call Bragg FB, Fat Boy. And Wanda said they hate Mr. Trump because he's going to out what they really do and adhere to. That's exactly right. Just like they hate Putin. Someone read very clearly and slowly Putin's speech that I highlighted last year, where he said the West was ruled by satanic forces. This is paraphrasing. And that he would destroy them, and that they would deal with the wrath of God for what they're doing. And if they feel, as leaders of the Western world, this is what Putin said, if you believe you can get your people to accept that they have to suffer and lose their lives just to accept that, then you need to step out of your position. You do not belong in a position of authority. And you're going to face the wrath of God, plus you're going to face my wrath. That's what Putin said. Then they don't like that kind of talk, and that's why they don't never report on what he's saying, just like they don't report on what Mr. T is saying. And that's right, Kate. Putin, Xi, and Trump are a team. That's right. Xi does not want to follow Satan. I know the Chinese Communist Party is not a pretty thing. but it has evolved, much like Russia has evolved post Brezhnev. Brezhnev was a remnant of the Stalin regime and the Lenin regime, and it has evolved. And the same can be said for CHYNA, okay? And Saudi Arabia and all these big players. And if you remember, Xi went to Brazil. Lula had to roll that carpet out, and yeah, he don't need no enemies like Xi, I can tell you that. And whatever Xi said to him, I'm sure he's paying attention to. And then you have, within 48 hours, you've got Bolsonaro's back in the country, not a bunch of security around him, smiling, people greeting him, a very calm situation. Maybe Xi told him, you better leave that man alone. And then the next day, DJT gets indicted. Or there's a report of an indictment that has not been opened. And now they're giving out details. And somebody committed a felony. Just like I said about that Soprano series where they said one of those jurors is a felon. Jury nullification is not absolute, especially if it's done for criminal purposes. But DJT said the judge, quote, assigned to my witch hunt case, a, quote, case that has, capital letters, never been charged before, hates me. His name, okay, we're down to naming names. Juan Manuel Marchand. Remember that name, Marchand. It's spelled like marching, Marchan. So we got a lot of names being named, like the Florida judge that's trying to fine Trump millions of dollars because of Hillary paying for that dirty dossier. Oh, but you get in trouble for memes, right? But she can pay millions for a Russian-generated dirty dossier. I see. All right. So anyway, he says this judge was handpicked by Bragg and the prosecutors and is the same person who, quote, railroaded my 75-year-old former CFO, chief financial officer, Alan Weisselberg, to take a, quote, plea deal. Plead guilty even if you are not. 90 days or fight us in court and get 10 years in jail, namely life. So he's putting it out there and he's putting judges' names out. He's putting prosecutors' names out. He strong-armed Allen, which a judge is not allowed to do, and treated my companies, which don't plead, quote, viciously. And he says, appealing. So this judge, Juan Manuel Marchand, is going to have these cases plopped in front of the appeals court, and I'm sure eventually the Supreme Court. And the Supreme Court, each judge, as I've been over in past broadcasts, is responsible for certain circuits, circuit courts, because in the old days, the judge would do what's called ride the circuit, going around checking, make sure everybody's doing what they're doing, maybe even hear some cases, hear some appeals, and then the entire court would meet. But now, of course, they don't ride around on a horse there anymore to do their circuits, but they are divided up. That's why you have the Ninth Circuit, the Fifth Circuit, and this circuit. And I would have to look which Supreme Court judge is in charge of New York. But anyway, as I said, everything Trump goes through is going to be going to the Supreme Court. So a lot of other things that Mr. T has retruth. But I tell you what, before I get to that, I'm on, while we got a good number of people here, I'm going to talk about that post that I brought up from that letter that everybody says was just some some sneaky person. It's not our Department of Defense, even though it's on Department of Defense servers. It has nothing to do with Department of Defense. But anyway, let me get to that post, and I will read it to you verbatim, okay? And I told you it was 3717, okay? Let me see if make sure I'm okay. BRICS is already bigger than G7. That's right, B-Dog. They said they used to call the G7 the golden billion people. Well, they said in the news in the East, they said, look at BRICS. It's the golden 3 billion. 3 billion compared to 1 billion. Probably going to be 4 billion before it's over with. So, okay, here is the post. December 17th, 2019, number 3717. First indictment, brackets, unseal, will trigger mass population awakening, period. First arrest will verify action and confirm future direction, period. They will fight, but you are ready, period. Marker, brackets, 9. Now, what did I find interesting about that? I was thinking, gee, who leaked that indictment? Who committed a felony and leaked that indictment? I'm going, well, how are they going to arrest him? He's going to turn himself in Tuesday. And then I saw a report where somebody said Bragg said he would allow Trump to be on house arrest if he allowed them to take him down into the bowels of the Manhattan police station or wherever they're going to do it to fingerprint and book him. And mugshot him, they might let him out and stay on house arrest. So I'm going, oh my gosh, how's that going to work out? Then I said, wait a minute, let me read this post again. And I did. I read it again. It says the first indictment will trigger mass population awakening. First arrest will wait a minute. The first indictment, does that mean that has to be the first arrest? No. It's an indictment. It's supposedly not even unsealed yet. Trump's not going to turn himself in till Tuesday. Can there be arrests between now and then? Yeah. Could they be talking about arrests that have nothing to do with this indictment? In the brackets in bold letters, it said unsealed about the indictment, the first indictment, brackets unsealed. Wait a minute. Has Trump's been unsealed yet? Oh. Has he been arrested yet? No. The first arrest can have nothing to do with this so-called indictment. Hi, Rick. So y'all following what I'm saying? So what could it be? April Fools? Could it be April Fools? Could somebody else get snagged? And what else is there's so much that they've got to worry about. There's so much that they've got to worry about, like Arizona. That is a nest. I would be willing to say that they have enough information, they have enough evidence, especially concerning money laundering, to probably lock up half of the state government, top level state government. They could probably go get them right tonight. Arizona. And there is proven and exposed into the public record phony mortgages, phony deeds from the Sinaloa cartel to a lot of prominent people. And another thing I found very, very interesting, you got to read between the lines, right? Like I read between the lines just now on that famous post that everybody, including me, I went around saying the first arrest would shock the world, but it doesn't say that. The first indictment unsealed will trigger mass awakening. Oh, well, this one, it's still in flux, right? It's not unsealed yet. Then it says the first arrest will show future direction. And this arrest may not be affiliated with the indictment, the first one that gets unsealed. Now, going from that, let's go from a post that Mr. T put out, that only a very short post with one person's name in capital letters. Who can guess what that is? He did it today. And like I say, Murdoch trial points to South Carolina. Oh yeah, let me tell you, they took my, it may or may not be so, but I tell you what, I said all politics was local. And that money trail, that grubby money trail, runs pretty deep into government, and they were swimming in money. And where do you think they were getting their DRUGSs from? So anyway, I'll get back to what I was at. Diane got it. Hunter Biden. Trump said, "Where is Hunter Biden?" Now, just real quick on that Murdoch thing, they've taken him to, they say, a quote, secret prison with 20 some other people. And it is Ultramax. So there may be something going on concerning cartels or trails leading up to DC. I don't know. But he is definitely being treated in a much different way. But anyway, so what do we get from this thing from Mr. T that says, where's Hunter? You know what I'm thinking? I'm thinking Joe doesn't even know where Hunter is. Maybe he flipped. Maybe that's put out there to scare them, make them go, oh my God, where is he? What is he saying? What is he doing? Because as I said, if it wasn't for Hunter Biden, Bob Alinsky would have never gotten to James Biden and the big guy himself in a face-to-face meeting and get all the records, business records, and Tony Bobolinsky is an active top clearance for a certain letter. And he said it on an interview on Fox News, Tucker Carlson. He said that letter twice. And we all know what letter it is. And he said, I have active top clearance, the highest you get, the government certain letter clearance. He said the letter. And he wouldn't have got there without Hunter. So Hunter's been playing ball with us. And Trump might not know exactly where he is, but I think he knows more of where Hunter is than Joe Biden knows, or any of the other crooks that are getting ready to be exposed. And maybe he might be, never mind the first indictment. They could possibly be two totally separate things, an indictment versus an arrest. So in that one post, we're getting information on two different subjects, an indictment on one issue and an arrest on another. So maybe it'll be Hunter. And that will show the future direction, because Congress has already said this is a very serious investigation that goes directly to Joe Biden. And we also have a money trail of millions of dollars going to members of the Biden family from China. So anyway, just a little something to think about, folks. What now? Are they going to put cuffs on him? He did say, are they going to put cuffs on Donald J. Trump? I want to thank everybody. This is a viewer-supported and creator-supported broadcast. I don't get anything from anybody anywhere. I've got a channel support link in the description for Buy Me a Coffee. I got it going across the bottom of the screen. And before I answer that question about are they going to put Mr. T in cuffs, I got everybody I'm going to put on the screen for you to read. Gary, Debbie, Aaron, Robin, Kirsten, Wanda, Tennessee, Sandy, Norman, Dory, Pamela, Nikki B, Diamond Lil, Camperman, Simpson, Mary, Lone Wolf, Mac, KNS, Killer Fuzz, somebody one, somebody two. So anyway, now I do have Pamela helped me out last night. I want to thank her. Let me get back to my screen. I don't want to knock myself off. You know how I do that? Oh, good. I didn't do it. I didn't knock myself off. Secret Service says no, Reba said. They better not, Patriot Missile said. Pray, warriors, pray for our formed care. Thank you. Let's see. Yeah, another Pope in the hospital. Anybody get any updates on the Pope? Watch Hunter be a witness for Mr. T or arrested on Tuesday. I'm thinking tomorrow, April Fool's Day. You know, I'm not predicting. I'm just saying it wouldn't surprise me. Because Mr. T did say April Fool's like 4 times, right? And if I did, let me see. Cuff on brag, right? Thank you, man. You're welcome. Secret Service says no. That's right. Tyne said, I heard he will not be cuffed. Well, I can tell you, in a cynical mood, I said to myself, well, they kept pestering him until he put a daggone, you know what, on his face, mask, right? So what the heck's 20 seconds with cuffs on? He said he'd take all the slings and arrows. But I tell you what, that would be such a humiliating thing for our nation. I don't know that they would allow that. This country does not deserve that image. Not the people who've been supporting Mr. T. And to the people who think it's funny, I'm gonna keep going. To the people that think this is funny or just, you're not thinking about your fellow countrymen. You're not thinking about the reputation of your nation. Even the Democrats, even the far left news media is saying that this is a stretch, that it's made out of whole cloth, with the exception of an accusation that is years past the statute of limitations. Is it worth trying to shame this nation? Is that what makes you feel good? I want to ask my friends on the other side of the fence. Do you hate Trump that much that you want your country to get that kind of a black eye? Now, excuse me while I go make my "Are you stupid" bumpers. Are you stupid? We're talking about our nation's reputation, our nation's history. So we'll see if they put him. Where is this bunker AF was flown to today? I don't know, Mary. I don't know. They've got different. It wasn't, if it didn't say AF1. Thank you, Donna. Donna said she agrees 100%. MS Master Sports, yes. Capitals are okay once in a while, MS, and I appreciate you coming. I'm going to repeat it, but UTizzle calls that shouting, and it makes them look at my chats in a negative way, buddy. So in the future, just do a few caps here and there, so they don't think they want to paint us out to be shouting lunatics, but sometimes I am. But if they arrest Trump now, they can arrest Obama and Bush and Billy Boy Clinton. It's what he wants. Oh, yeah, yeah. Well, the thing is that is the indictment enough? Is the AI images that have been being splattered all around freely, carefree, to putting all these images of Trump being drugged by policemen, screaming, pictures of him holding up a card like a mugshot, looking sad? Is that going to be enough? Maybe where they don't have to actually do it. But I tell you what, if they do, all the more reason to usher in a new republic and get rid of 75% of the government that's been in charge of this country. It's dawning on the American people that this country is being run by international criminals. They're calling the shots. I'm not saying, everybody in office is an international criminal, although Nancy Pelosi, she sold stock. She lost $800-some thousand. It's probably over that now, probably over $1 million in a big hurry. And prior to that, they had an app where you could buy the same stock Paul Pelosi buys because he has a lifetime of never losing on a stock buy. The only way that can happen is through criminal influence. Nobody playing the market has got that kind of a record. And you could get that app downloaded, and whenever he bought stock, you could buy stock. Then somebody blocked the app. But now, why is she selling and losing nearly $1 million, if not more? So, yeah, some of them are international criminals, but who's their puppet master? They're the ones running this country. As Putin said years ago, men in black suits pick who is president of the United States. Men in black suits. Oh, gosh. Tornado victims photo up. I see that. Charlotte, Joe and Jill ran up to help Barry Sotero. And Emma says, part of Trump's plan. Well, yeah. That could well be. And there's the merit to that is that people in this country, especially the ones I'm talking about, are friends who aren't seeing what's happening. They're the ones that need to smack upside the head. The visual smack upside the head. And that might be what it takes. And the backlash, the disgust. We can show disgust, not rage, not vengeance. Our disgust is going to go a long way when you get disgusted with people. And they feel it. They feel it that you don't respect them anymore than the way their thought processes are going. Michael James. Yeah, I see what you're saying. I just went over capital letters that Utizzle looks at that as shouting. So just do a couple of capital letters. You don't got to do them all in caps. But I see what you're saying. All hell's going to break loose. You watch and see. Well, Michael, I have to say that everybody on the inside is saying, don't give them a reason. Don't give them a reason. And so we'll see. Hunter has flipped on his dad. Yeah, that's right. And I want to ask in the chats, because I had a couple of friends tell me that their phones automatically went to a update. iPhones. How many of you heard that or went through that? Put a 1 in the chats if your phone was automatically updated, because I know mine was, and I didn't ask for it to happen. It was it yesterday morning or yesterday night before last? My phone updated, and I went from something like, in my SIM card, I have a SIM card and I have a memory card. I had a lot of memory left on my memory card, but my SIM card was pretty high in data used. I had very little left. All of a sudden, I had all my pictures, all my videos, everything, but my phone got updated, and I got about 70% of memory back in my SIM card. That's what automatic updates do for you. And I don't have a setting. I didn't permit it, but it's still updated. And then, oddly enough, I heard 2 people tell me that their iPhones automatically updated. So I'm saying that because someone mentioned the EBS, EMS, or whatever, right? Susan said hers updated. Kate said they asked. That's right, Robert. We know this is a movie, so why would we go nuts and do something stupid? Exactly. Let me put your comment up, Robert. Thank you. Alicia said her droid did. Susan said night before last. So something's cooking. Something's cooking. Just like when I said, oh man, something happened and somebody was trying to get my Google account, and I told everybody what was happening, and a couple of days later my channel got taken. But this, I think, is a good thing. MS Motorsports says, sit back and watch the show. That's exactly right. Tennessee's Android got updated. So I don't know. I'm not saying, but I tell you what, they're doing maintenance that system. That remember that day, folks, when we all got a presidential message. Okay, they're going to update that system from time to time, and we don't know every move they're going to make. So they may be updating system just in case they do something crazy. You never know, because what they're trapped animals. What can they do? They can do something crazy. Dottie says her TV updated today. Donna said her iPhone and husband Samsung were off today for a while. They might be polishing up that, doing some maintenance to that EBS system, and that's white hat. That's good. Hi, Cindy. Cyan Toledo says, an old man. Who you talking about? I'll tell you, I'm an old man. Ha ha. I'm an old man. There's old captains and they're bold captains, but there are no old and bold captains. Wanda's service was out for 2 days. All right, Gary, you have a great evening, buddy. And thank you again for your support. Whoops. Let's see. So, if people have issues with Buy Me Coffee link, they just can go somewhere else. They can go somewhere else and play. If they think my time is not worth anything. So anyway, so a lot of people have had their phones. Thank you, Dottie, said a wise old man. So I say something might. We've been saying it for so long. People are so sick of it. I would not get excited. My advice to people and the things that I follow for myself, I make sure I got what I need to get by. I make sure home and hearth and this goofy little cat's in here is going to be okay. And my friends are okay. And if they have problems or they ask me something, I'm ready to give them a rational answer. That's not going to scare them. I'm not going to tell them lizard people. Okay. Because if anything that happens 100 miles away or uh, on the other side of the ocean or over in California, there's nothing you can personally do except get yourself upset and thinking in ways that are not healthy. But if you're taking care and ready to protect home and hearth and make sure you and the people you care about have enough to eat and you can get by, there you have it. Because screaming and yelling or banging pots and pans or going tearfully about things is not going to change it. We're right. There's might in the right, and we're going to go through this with our heads up. We're responsible adults. We're ready, and it's going to get taken care of by the White House. And if they need us, they'll let us know. And if they don't let us know, we don't be a burden to others. We take care of ourselves and we help where we can. And we have it in our minds how to talk to people in a rational way, right? So let's see. National Guard. Let's see who said. Where did I see that? At down in that National Guard. And that was Wanda. Wanda said that, well, that's right. We have the National Guard. Okay. That was a question Donna had. Yeah. Yeah. I've never seen it put like at N/G. I would wonder myself, Donna. But yeah, National Guard. We have, we've got to give respect to our military. And I know we got jerks on television, and Mr. T said that they're called television generals. But our core military, we got to give them credit. They're not going to let this country get taken over by a bunch of lunatics. And the other thing that to be ready for, but don't freak out. There was an article, I've got a copy of it, I'll go over it real quick, that they put out about sunspots. Where is it? Here we go. Solar winds reaching up to 1.8 million miles per hour headed towards Earth by the end of this week, unquote, after another massive hole is discovered on the surface of the sun. Okay? Because we know they said there would be blackouts, and whether that's information blackouts, internet blackouts, or power blackouts, we don't know. But here comes this story about the sun, 1.8 million miles per hour. Let me get that right. Let me read it again. Yes, 1.8 million miles per hour, headed towards Earth by the end of the week. So they got that coming up to scare the bee jabbers out of us. So they're going to try to pull the plug somewhere. And then you have Biden saying that we have to watch out for a possible cyber attack from Putin, and saying that he is very capable and that they have intelligence that the Russians might shut down our internet. So be ready for that. If it happens, don't lose it. Don't get upset and don't be afraid. We know that if they're going to do whatever they can to disrupt stuff. And we know that we have a national security agency, and we've got a very capable military. We've got capable combat commanders, combat operations commanders. That's who's in charge at a time of war. And Rick said, Massar Jassar will be announced tomorrow. It wouldn't surprise me. Hey, we got the largest company in South America, country in South America that's not going to trade in dollars. What Putin calls candy wrappers. Dan's got emergency alert radio. Hi, Kirsten. How you doing? Thank you for helping me out. I appreciate it so much. And Kirsten said Jassara too. Yeah, so it wouldn't surprise me. But I do want to caution you all before you get your hopes up too much. Trump said that the American people have not seen enough. They have not seen how much this economy is suffering, this country is suffering. He said a lot of Americans haven't felt it yet, but they will. And we're not anywhere near these people feeling it. Care says, question, does the media know what's really going on or good actors? I think it's a blend, Kirsten. I think it's a blend. So, you just got to keep fighting it, Cindy. You got to do the, and you know it. I'm sure you're a fighter. You don't need me telling you, but everybody else out there, if you got to do rehabilitation, man, a little exercise goes a long way. Care says, go to your card, charge stuff up, etc. Exactly right. And we're all thinking about you, pulling for you, Cindy. You're a fighter. Yeah, Blacklist says, welcome aboard, Blacklist, Space Force. That's right. Get that big thumbs up on that. Hey, if you haven't given me a thumbs up, go ahead. Or if you don't like the broadcast, give me a thumbs down. But I'd rather you give me a thumbs up. But it's up to you. Redacted talking about a new digital rollout April 1st. Oh, we'll see. We'll see. All it takes is a real crash. Pull the rug out right in front of them. Well, I'll tell you, it's like Mr. T said, tariffs. It's time. It's time to run this country off of tariffs like it used to be, instead of giving them carte blanche to get right straight into your personal pocket, because they politicize it, they attack you, and they can ruin your life if you don't give them what they think you owe them for the fruits of your personal labor. I think we're going to see an end come to that. That's good, Chris. That's good, Cindy. A fighter and a truth teller. That's right. Walking, Finding Dory said, walking is workout and heals your body. Hi, Karen. Okay, Teen, we want to know what sounds crazy. Let me see. This will sound crazy. What's the possibility that someone could be use zeros when you use that word, Tyne, SH00T, okay? And that way the rhythm don't get it, okay? Some sort of bums into the sun to help create that. Hey, they could be doing that. They'll do whatever it takes if they feel like they're coming to an end. Stock market could crash. That's true. But we've seen it crash before. We've seen Trump showed how fast he can bring it back. Oh my goodness, liberal nurses. Yeah. Okay, let me see. So yeah, we all thinking EBS or EMI, whatever electronic broadcast system. Gee, but then they're thinking about pulling the plug, right? So be ready for any of it because it's no surprise to us. And I tell you what, I told everybody to watch that one channel so you could get a feeling and show your friends. Some of these people on that have been convicted of and are going to face the ultimate penalty. The show's called Death. It's a YouTube channel called Death Row and Executions. And the guy that does show called Paco Rivera. And I said he shows people that have been on there for 30 years, 20 years, 25 years. He put one up that's supposed to happen 4/6/23. 4/6/23. A guy named Aaron Gunches, Arizona Death Row. So y'all can look that up if you want to. I gave you the name of the channel, and you come back to the 120 55 mark, you get, or 50 mark, you get the name of the channel. This guy, he's probably been in there 20 years. And the governor of Arizona is trying to stop it. And you know who that is. So wait, I'm way behind the chat. So let me fast forward. Yeah. So I say stuff like that is good to share with people that don't realize how weak our system has been all these years. I don't want anybody to lose their life. I don't. But at some point, some of the things these people have done, and then they just end up living in a different world in the prison for 30 years. They a whole lifetime, and they're happy. They get drugs. They have TV, whatever. But anyway, we talked about Xi Jinping earlier. Somebody brought it up. And he was at a party conference. And this is not being reported. Tell me if you heard this in the U.S. media. Chinese leader Xi Jinping, speaking at the annual meeting of the Chinese parliament, said that he is preparing China for war. Xi Jinping addressed the topic of readiness for war in 4 separate speeches, and in one of them, he told his generals to fight bravely. Have any of you heard that in the past couple of days that he's given that speech, and he has mentioned the WAR word in 4 different speeches? He went on to say his government also announced a 7.2 increase in China's defense budget, which has doubled in the past decade, and plans to make the country less dependent on foreign grain imports. So they doubled their defense spending in the past 10 years, and they just raised it another 7.2%. So that's scary business, and that's stuff we better pay attention to. Holy cow. Somebody bought me a load of coffees, and we got to see how you can put your names in there, because on my notifications, I can't see who it was, but whoever it was, I'll find out and thank you on tomorrow's broadcast. Lord willing, I'll broadcast tomorrow. Okay. But I do appreciate it. And I hope this sound is better than my past broadcasts, my new setup. I just got to do something with Sadie. She's still sitting on the floor looking mad at me because I threw her off my lap. Because she digs her claws in while I'm talking. I'm like, would you stop that? She doesn't listen. She doesn't care. All she thinks about is herself. But anyway, yeah, in the East, these are some of the reports in the East, okay? Gary, Gary, that might have been you. And if it was, I do appreciate it. It says somebody on there. China, Gary. China, Xi Jinping made 4 speeches where it was you, Gary. Thank you so much. Boom, bang, pow. That's my fireworks since I don't have my special effects. It was Xi Jinping's who said 4 times, Gary, that he mentioned war in 4 separate speeches, and he told his generals to be ready for war and be brave after they doubled their defense spending in the last 10 years. So, and nobody in the U.S. is reporting on it unless I see somebody. You heard it yesterday, and today he's also mentioned. Well, I'm saying if any of the news organizations, Cindy, reported it. Now Mr. T is going to tell us the truth, but is any of the big name news organizations said that the newly elected premier, he's got plenty of time to run the show. Oh, poor Sadie Donna said, no, that's okay. I'll pet her later. She'll be all right. I'll give her a little piece of chicken. Okay, in the East, it says footage of leftists and transgender insurrectionists storming the Tennessee Capitol building today. This is a foreign news service. Within the past 24 hours, the Capitol buildings of Tennessee and Kentucky have both been stormed by leftists and transgender insurrectionists. Democrats have refused to condemn these acts of terror. That is a foreign news service reporting. Gary said, let's try to remember and be perfectly clear God's God, and nobody's going to destroy anybody when God's hand is in the way. I'm going to put that up, Gary. That's exactly right. Thy will be done. Thy will be done. Paid protesters, Robert says, most likely. Well, I'll tell you something that I thought about. They canceled the one in D.C., right? They canceled it because they said it was too dangerous or some stupid. I'll tell you why they canceled it. I think they have a shortage of screwballs, and they got to pack them up and ship them from Kentucky and Tennessee up to D.C. for that supposedly big show they were going to have tomorrow. And I think it would be so obvious that somebody's paying these people and financing that they called it off. Because there's only so many screwballs in the country. I mean, the actual ones. And Cindy said it was a podcast reported. That's right, not MS. Touches on China. Fox touches on China. Right. None of the big services do it. But here's this foreign agency that's showing footage, calling it out for what it is. In Kentucky, local transgender people have taken over the Capitol or demanding to be called by the pronouns they use to describe themselves, not he or she. Now, most people in Eastern Europe are looking at each other like, well, we got to get the hell away from these people. I'm sorry, excuse me for using that word. But, and also they reported on, at the same time, they went out of their way to report on 2 U.S. Army helicopters colliding in Kentucky. And given well wishes to the families and the service members. This is a foreign news service that's given our armed services more respect and more accurate reporting than our own. It says lost 2 Black Hawk helicopters and 9 soldiers were KILLED'd. And then they put out a bulletin that the U.S. State Department, now has anybody heard about this one? Has anyone heard about this report? The U.S. State Department called on all Americans who still remain in Russia to urgently leave the country. The reason given is the arrest of an American spy journalist, Evan Gershkovich, who today was detained and arrested by the Court of Moscow until May 29th on charges of espionage. Remember, I talked about that last night. Espionage. So, you if you can find an Eastern news service or any other news service besides U.S. news service, you're going to get the truth. You're going to get more of the truth. You're going to get a straight story. You're not going to read a bunch of garbage. They'll tell you in one paragraph the facts of the matter. You heard that today about getting out of Russia? Yeah, this was broadcast yesterday. Yesterday's when I copied that. I didn't get to it in yesterday's broadcast. I just didn't have time. That's right, Robert. You got to use zeros with that name, Robert. Now, see, I got to take that one down. You got to come back in 5 minutes, Robert. But you put a name in there for voting without putting zeros in. 5 minutes, buddy. I'm sorry, I got to do it. Robert, you still listen to me. I understand you go on different chats and stuff, and that's great. But you need to keep that in mind. You can't put that particular name there without using zeros for O's. So 5 minutes, I'll probably wrap it up by then, but don't get mad at me. We got to protect the channel. Yeah, they did that about a month ago. They did that about a month ago, but they've re-upped it since the arrest of this spy. That's right, that's right, Finding Dory. Sadie is so cute. I'm going to put that up there. Hi, Lucy. How are you? China has to feed the troops and people. That's why been buying farmland worldwide for decades, Kim says. Yeah, all that land got flooded out with the dam getting overwhelmed and turbines being malfunctioning. That's right. Barges, Gary. Barges. They're huge. And a lot of us have seen pictures of them. So let me see. Did I say everything, Mr. T? Well, everybody's talking about 0 day being yesterday, and guess what? Mr. T got indicted, and then on another deep drop from that particular letter, another drop, it brings up 0 day. And let me see what I can say without getting in trouble. It says, quote, China, Russia, Iran, quote, fake takedown hacks of select platforms for maintenance is one scenario being game played. 0 day. Countermeasures in place. Okay, and then it goes on to say, example, think emergency alert system. And I won't repeat the rest of it. I'll have to talk about some of that stuff on Rumble. Yeah, I had to do it, penalty box. I have to. We can't. I mean, they're protecting that guy. All we got to do is put zeros where his name with the O's, and we're fine. We're fine. So anyway, yeah, we got to keep an eye on the emergency alert system, and I think we still got a lot of marching to do through this mud. Now, I've got a bunch of stuff Mr. T put out on his True Social, which will probably get me in trouble, but he's pointing out who's criminals, who has made posts in the past that are documented, I'm sure filed, that are very prejudicial, if not downright criminal. And he's calling them all out. Hundreds of New York City prosecutors are burned out and quitting. Assistant DA says they're burned out because 2 laws that took effect in January 2020 requiring to share mountains of evidence with defense attorneys quickly. So in other words, prior to that law being passed, they have been hiding things from defense attorneys, and now they've got to turn it over. So a lot of them are going, holy cow, and quitting, because who knows how much stuff they've done hidden to try to frame people. So, they're getting out while the getting's good. But then on top of that, you've got dozens of them leaving because they feel that this whole exercise that Bragg is doing is an embarrassment. 8 years and 11 million pages, no errors, no affair, no misdemeanor, no crime, no case. That is what Mr. T has to say. And so they have had a big chunk of them not leave because they've been hiding evidence from defendants. They're leaving because they don't like the way this case is going, and they know what it means for the country. But on top of that, they've lost all those prosecutors who have been playing footsies with evidence that can prove a person's innocence. So if that doesn't tell you. Now this says in the Bronx, 59% of the prosecutors have walked away from January through May. And it shows a picture of Bragg there getting out of his truck. And there's Bill Barr. I tell you, I had to take a shot at this. I'm gonna talk about this real quick before I go. You remember Katie Couric? She's got a UTizzle channel, Katie Couric. I remember when she was discovered. Well, she put a video out today, around about lunchtime, I guess, or 1 o'clock. And it's showing her on the screen with a big smile on her face, and her guest has got a big smile on her face. And what's the story about? On Trump's indictment, quote, it's a very, very big deal. And they both sitting there with a grin on her face. And I remember she was a camp counselor, and somebody discovered her. A camp counselor with no appreciable journalistic background or anything. And then she ended up being a news anchor for years, being paid millions. How the heck does that happen? I know how it happens. But anyway, so she's already got her millions. She's already done what she had to do on the mainstream media. Now she's got her own thing, and they're just so happy about Trump being indicted. I think I'm going to keep that when I do a picture show. You can see two grinning hyenas, two idiots. But anyway, folks, so we've been over a lot tonight. Now, oh my gosh, I didn't know it was this late. I thought it was, oh, well, hey, we all had fun, right? That's the main thing. And we're sticking together, and we're going to walk into this proudly, because we are proud, and we're going to do what's right. And we're not going to do any stupid things, and we're going to comfort our friends, and we're going to be able to talk to our friends about issues that are meaningful. Right, folks? Meaningful issues. And we'll be able to give valuable advice to people that are wondering what in the world's going on, right? So anyway, the more we can do that, the better. Tomorrow is April Fool's, right? Tomorrow is Saturday, April Fool's. In the future, I'm going to go, when things settle down a little bit, if they ever do, I'm going to be not doing Saturdays and Tuesdays. But while things are happening, and we all need to communicate and reassure not only our friends and neighbors, but ourselves, and share information. Okay, we are the news, and that can be spelled KNEWS, because we knew what was going on. So we're in the news, and we also the NEWS. Okay, folks. So that's the way we're gonna handle it from here on out. And I plan on being up tomorrow, and hopefully it'll be an exciting day. And even if it's not, every day is a bonus, right? Every day is exciting. Every day. Every rainy day, every windy day, every cold day, every pretty day, every sunny day, every day is a bonus, folks. So I appreciate you all spending your precious time with me as we walk through history together. I really do. And I look forward to seeing you all again very soon. And you all have a great evening. And I thank everybody that's helped me with the channel. Gary, I appreciate you. Everybody helped me last night. And you all have a great evening. This is Mountain Man, over and out.